Hey friends, it's Nicole with Guiding Echoes, and today I am doing a live unboxing of Inspirational Visions. So, this deck was created by Judy Mastrangelo, and it is published by, I probably should have looked at that before I came on here, but anyways, I'll be doing an unboxing of this deck. And if you're joining me live, I may pull some cards for you once we do this unboxing. So I've never seen this deck before, never worked with it before. As you can tell, it's still in the original packaging. So let's go ahead and pop this baby open. All right, so it's like unwrapping a present before Christmas. Do you think that would put you on Santa's naughty list if you opened a present before Christmas? I guess we're going to find out. I'll let you guys know if I get presents this year, all right? Okay, so let's see. So here we go. Here is the box. It actually has a nice shiny glass. It feels really good, actually. And let's go ahead and see how this opens. So it looks like it opens that way. So there we go. We're flipping that tab open like that. And we're going to open the box like so. Yes, it opens like a book. Isn't that lovely? All right, so here we go. And inside we see that there is a note about the author right there. And we have the Inspirational Visions booklet. So that's pretty nice. And look at how big these cards are. That's pretty cool, right? Can you guys see the reflection of my ring light? Anyways, so let's go ahead and take a look at these. So these look like, oh, wow, that's really pretty. Look at this, that blue metallic edge. Very cool. I've never seen that on a deck before. Usually it's gold. I've never seen blue like that. So let's go ahead and get that off. So yeah, wow, this is a really nice card stock. So this is a nice thick card stock, not so thick that you're not going to be able to shuffle them or work with them. Wow, this is really pretty. So here we have Alice and the White Rabbit. Okay, so the one thing is, as I'm trying to pull them apart, they're not pulling apart very well. So you probably have to do a little fanny, like do the little fan thing. So so there you go. That's the only thing that we found so far that's negative, is when you initially get them out of the box, they're a little bonded. So it may take me a little while to get them undone. Otherwise, it's a really nice cardstock, as you can see, glossy finish, pretty little paisley back. So you have Ariel, Bunny Gardner. How cute is this? Oh my gosh. Let's see. Celestial Cherub. And let's see, I'm going to have to pull these apart. So I'll do that in a little bit. We'll go through these cards a little bit more when I start pulling cards for you guys, okay? So what I'm planning on doing is pulling one card at random for those of you who would like a card pull. And we'll see what type of readings we get off of this. We'll see how well they read. But just looking at the cards already, I have a feeling these are going to read very well because we have these clear, crisp colors. There's a lot of symbology on here. There's a lot to work with already. I like the different words that she has. I like this one says, Flower Spirit, lift your eyes up to the sun. So we'll go through these in a little bit. First, let's take a look at the book. Freddie's like, that's one fancy deck of cards. You know, I agree with you. It absolutely is. So let's see. So here's the little booklet. And okay, I'm already loving the book, guys. Already loving the book. High gloss pages, which I love. Look at this contents. So the contents is right at the beginning. It's really strange because there are some books that will come with cards that are, it's almost like they're printed on the cheapest paper they can find. They don't have a contents like this, so it's hard to find what you're looking for in the book. So already I am a fan of this little booklet. Writing is a nice size. So again, sometimes you'll get those books and the writing is so small and I'm like, I am not old enough to need reading glasses yet, but I need reading glasses for this. But that's a nice size right there. So let's see, introduction, using the cards, mind painting, the secret sanctuary. So she's got different methods in the book that allow you to use the cards in different ways. This is actually pretty in depth. Okay, so let's check this out. So here we have the very first page for the oracle card, or I should say the first explanation and image for one of the oracle cards. So this says, Alice and the White Rabbit follow adventure down the rabbit hole. Throw caution to the winds and let your hair down. Join the excitement of a new adventure. Don't be afraid to try something new and thrilling. Keep your eyes open and protect yourself from the mishaps, but enjoy every minute and have fun. So there you go. So that's a nice simple meaning of the card. And let's check the other one. So here we go. So what I like about this already is the simplicity. Like the messages are small, they're concise, they're easy to understand. Also, I just love Judy's artwork anyway. So Judy did both the artwork and she's the author for this too. So she's the jack of all trades in this one. So pretty cool. So there we go. And let's go ahead and flip over to the back, see if there's anything interesting in the back. Okay, so this is pretty cool because it's actually just so everything you need is in the front, and then the whole book is explanations of the cards. So there you go. So let's go ahead and put this to the test. So go ahead and put your questions in the chat if you would like me to pull a card for you. And remember, not everyone who showed up today is going to get a card reading. I would also remind you that if I don't choose you for a reading and yet I give a message that resonates with you, that means that reading is for you too. That's how the universe works. So since you showed up today, you're probably going to get something out of this. In fact, what you may get out of this is that you're learning more about this deck and maybe you decide to go buy it, right? I'm like always looking for new decks to buy. It's actually kind of ridiculous. But all right, so let me go ahead and put these aside. Stephanie, I haven't pulled a card on that, but my intuition is saying that's kind of a mixed bag. It's like it's both a yes and a no. It's leaning more towards a yes, but there's going to be something there that's not going to work in your favor in the way that you think it will. So just be mindful of that. But for the most part, the answer would be yes. Okay. I know I'm cheating. I didn't even pull any cards for you. All right. Okay. So let's see. All right. So let me go ahead and take a look at some of your questions. All right. So Kristen is asking, is my goal of the trial hike going to come to pass? So let's go ahead and shuffle the cards up and see what the cards have to say for Kristen. So, whoops. Oh, okay. You had a couple of cards actually pop out for you. Oh my gosh, you had a few cards. All right. So the one I'm being drawn to is actually create your fantasy, feel the magic. So I feel like this is a yes. I feel like it's even showing that there's something about this trial hike that's actually going to be magical for you. So think of all the reasons why you're doing it. Be open to what's in store for you. Be open to the adventure, open to the process, open to the training, to the gearing up for it. So yes, it looks like that's a yes, but it also looks like there might be an element of magic that's required to make this happen. So that element of magic could even be belief in yourself. It could be that you're saying some prayers to make this happen. It could be that you're asking the universe for an extra helping hand, which is something we could all do more of. So yeah, in a nutshell, I feel like the answer to that is a yes. Sorry that I'm looking down again. I'm splitting more of the cards. All right. Okay, so let me go ahead and take, so I hope that was helpful for you. Let's see. So Gloria is saying, I will get all your words. I just really need to know if my finances will improve. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at that question. So is Gloria's finances going to improve? So Inspirational Visions, tell me wise and tell me true. Okay, I'm going to put that one aside because even though a card came out, it doesn't really answer your specific question. And it feels like that might be more of a general card for someone else. Aha, here we go. All right. Okay, so what we have here is a card that says, fairy tale folk, remain friends with your childhood fantasies. They will keep you young. So what does that have to do with you asking if your finances will improve? When I'm looking at this card and I'm tuning into your question about the finances, I feel like this is saying that there's actually a lot of, I would say, inner child work that needs to be helped. There's unresolved childhood trauma surrounding finances, and that needs to be healed. So it could be that you grew up in a family where you guys were just making things meet, where maybe you had parents who weren't the best providers. Maybe they did their best, maybe they didn't. I don't know the situation. Maybe you were scolded when there were certain things that you wanted, and you felt embarrassed for asking for the things that you desired, because sometimes your parents or the adults around you would make you feel bad for asking. So there's a part of you that might still feel undeserving of the things that you want, or you don't believe you can have the things that you want, and that's actually what needs to be healed. I also do see that there is some debt that you're looking to get caught up on, and I feel like that's going to happen for you, but I feel like it's going to take a few months before you really start to see the results of your hard work. So the result of, making those payments and maybe putting an extra, $20 in or $50 in to pay down some of the interest or the principal and whatever is going on. So I do feel like your finances are going to improve. I feel like it's going to take some time. So just be patient with the process, and also be very compassionate with yourself, be understanding towards yourself. You may want to look into some of that, that inner child work, and see where this fear of money may be coming from, because I do feel like there's a little bit of guilt associated with money. So I won't go into that any further because I know this is getting kind of personal, but just sit with that for a while. Sit with that and ask yourself, on an energy level, why am I afraid of money? Am I afraid of money? Like, what's my fear for having money? Why is it slipping through my fingers the way it is? And then also ask yourself, what type of programming did I get as a child about money? What was the overwhelming message? And that might give you some type of hint as to why you're in the financial situation you're in now, and what new beliefs and what new behaviors you have to put in place for you to not only get on top of your finances and to improve them, but to stay in that energy where they continue to build up and get better for you. All right. So I hope that was helpful. Okay, Freddie. Freddie is asking, have I been doing my mediumship correctly? I'm going to rephrase that, and we're going to ask basically what advice would be good for you so that your mediumship can be better. Because I'm sure that you're doing mediumship correctly, because there's really no wrong way to do it. Every medium is individual and unique, and we all practice in different ways. We all receive messages in different ways. And I think it's so important for us to be accepting of how we get those messages. So we're going to change that question a little bit and ask, how can you improve the mediumship? Like, what do you need to do for that to be improved? Okay. And, that's funny. We have another childlike card. So this says, where candy trees grow, lands of childhood live within us always throughout life. So that's kind of interesting, because that's similar to what I was saying to Gloria earlier. And I actually feel like this was actually meant for Gloria. So Gloria was meant to see this card as well. There you go, Gloria. And so now, Freddie, I'm going to refocus on you. The universe works in mysterious ways. What can I say, right? All right, we're asking, what can he do to improve his mediumship? What would help him to feel better? What would make him feel more confident? Trying to feel the right card for you. Okay, here we go. This says, Flower Spirit, lift your eyes up to the sun. So this is saying that when it comes to your mediumship practice, you want to keep your focus on why you're doing this. So think about the light that you're bringing to people's lives as you're developing your own mediumship and as you're getting those mediumship messages. Think about the light that shines within you. And the truth is, I think it's really easy for us all to doubt ourselves as mediums. And yes, I put myself in that category too, because imposter syndrome can run wild. And it's easy for any of us to doubt the experiences that we're having. And when that happens, there is a certain darkness that starts to take place, right? Because we start to wonder if we should be even doing this, if we're good enough. We might start comparing ourselves to other mediums, especially the ones that we see on TV, which isn't a fair comparison, because while I have no doubt that many of those mediums are extremely gifted, those television shows are also heavily edited, right? Because they need to get to the core of the matter. It's a TV show. And so we don't see it when these other mediums maybe stumble or they don't get the message quite right, or they're having a hard time feeling their way in the message, but that happens for everyone. So when that happens, when you're in that energy of not knowing what to do next, what to say next, or you feel lost or you feel blocked, lift your energy up, lift your third eye up and look to the sun, look to the light, look to heaven, look to angels, look to your guides and ask them for help in that moment and see what comes through, right? So that's what I'm getting out of this card is when we look up to the sun, when we look up, that's about keeping our vibration up even just one step higher than we thought was possible. All right. So that's how you can improve on your mediumship. So I hope that was helpful to you. All right. So let me take that off the screen. I'm kind of new to this little software that I'm using. So it takes me a while to find your questions and take them off the screen and all that stuff. So anyways, you're very welcome, Gloria. I'm very glad that reading was helpful for you. Let's see. So, okay, so here is a generic one. We'll go ahead and go with that. What message do I need from Spirit? I'm already hearing that you need to trust yourself more. Because it feels like you're at a crossroads with something and you're wondering what decision to make. And I feel like you feel very torn inside of it. You feel very torn about this decision. And wow, yeah, you are having a really hard time tuning into that, into feeling your way through it. And I think that's why this decision is hard, is because usually you would know right from left right away. Usually you're really clairsentient and empathic. So you're able to feel what the right move is. And so that's where I can see that you're maybe feeling a little lost, is that empathy feels like it's toned down. And it toned down as a way to protect you, not to hurt you, because you're already overwhelmed by a lot of things. And if you were to feel anything more, that might actually set you on overload. So take your time with this decision. You may want to just sit down with a piece of paper and write down your pros and cons for each of these choices. So like choice A, write down the pros and cons. Choice B, write down the pros and cons. Because one of them will offer more benefits than the other. So you have to really think about what your priorities are, what results you want, and what type of experience you're going after, and which of those two choices are going to get you there. So all of that, and I didn't even pull a card for you yet. So okay, so there's that. And then we're also asking, like, I'm asking you to be inspired, though. I'm asking for a motivational, like, what motivational, inspirational message does she need? Okay. And here we have the Lovers, make your happy endings. So, okay, going back to what I was saying, as far as the choices that you have to make, think of the end result. Which choice would give you the end result that you're wanting? And I think that you may be saying, I don't know. That's the problem. I don't know. So really sit in the energy of each of those choices. So for choice A, again, write down the pros and cons and just think about what would happen if you made choice A. What would the end result be? What would the experience be? What would that look like? What would that feel like? And then do the same thing later. I can talk, I swear, for choice B. And remember, ask your guides and angels for directions on this. They will help you. Ask them to clear your mind of any blocks, to open up your vision so you can see ahead of yourself even, and to show you and give you the impression of what choice is best. Okay, so trust yourself. This is an experiment in manifestation. This is an experiment in recognizing your own power in your own life. So I don't feel like your guides and angels in the universe are going to interfere too much, because this is meant to show you your power, like to trust yourself to make the decision. And come hell or high water, know that whether you liked what happened or didn't happen, you still made a choice. Like, you still took control of the situation and of your own life. That said, the universe will guide you. They're not going to push you. They're not interfering. They will guide you to the decision that's best for you. So try that out. See if that helps. And I hope that reading was helpful for you. Let's see. Let's see. Alicia, is it true that I'm going to meet the right man soon with whom I will settle? That's a great question. So let's go ahead and ask these cards. So, is Alicia going to meet the right man soon? Alicia, can you define soon? Like, does soon mean a matter of weeks, within 6 months? Like, what's your definition of soon? And I hear you saying sooner rather than later, and I hear you on that, but I want something more specific, because cards and tarot, what I've noticed, don't really work well with vague timelines like that. So if you give them a timeline, like if you say within 3 months or 6 months, they're usually really great at answering that. Thank you, Carrie. That's a very, very sweet comment. I appreciate it. Okay. So, but I'll still go ahead and just ask. Okay, weeks. So Alicia says weeks. So within weeks. So we'll go with 4 to 6 weeks. So about a month, a little over a month. Okay. All right. This one was kind of, oh my gosh. Excalibur. Be strong and honest, and you will achieve your quest. If it's not within those 4 to 6 weeks, it's still going to be around that timeline. This is a card of victory, my dear. And then also, this looks to me to be a male, a knight. So I don't know, maybe your knight in shining armor, or maybe that's King Arthur. So maybe this is your king on his way to you. So yeah, I think you're going to get some clarity on who this is. Also, notice how it says be strong and honest. Sometimes when we're meeting new people, we hide a part of ourselves, or we start to adapt to someone else because we want them to like us. And the problem with that is they end up not liking the real us, right? So this is saying be strong and honest. Also, the be strong can mean that you may have to say no to someone or to something on your way to getting this guy that's on his way to you. It could be that someone comes up and they seem to be a good fit, but something feels off. So, or they start saying weird things, or they're behaving in ways you don't necessarily like, but you kind of like this person, but you don't like the behavior, or whatever it is. Be strong and say no. Not for me, right? Be strong and say not for me, because your King Arthur is on the way. You've got your Excalibur, girl. You just have to wield your power. So yeah, it does look like he's on his way. So you will meet him within a matter of weeks. At least you're supposed to. So There you go. All right. So let's go ahead and prowl around for one more question. Let's see. I will go ahead and go with this. Then I'm going to ask this probably more generic for all of you because I love this question. So Tanya is asking, will my dream wishes come true within the year of 2021? Ooh. Ooh. Look at this. Mounting Pegasus. Ascend to great heights. I think that's a yes. And what's funny was I was just about to say to you, like, okay, as I'm pulling a card for you, think about your top 3 wishes or dreams. And I think as I was thinking that, because I mean, I don't know about you, but I have a long list of things and goals and wishes and dreams that I would love to come true. But they're probably not all going to come true in 2021. Your top 3, whatever those might be, they're either on their way. They're either going to happen or you're at least going to see the beginning parts of the manifestation. But I'm hearing 3. I do hear 3 for you. And whatever order you have them in is 1, 2, 3. It feels like 3, the third is actually going to be most important and easiest for you to show up, or the easiest one that shows up. So 1 and 2 actually take some time, but the third one on the list, whatever your top 3 is, that one manifests quickly for you. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Okay, and then this will be the last one. Leslie is asking what spiritual path is for me. All right, so we'll see how these cards are able to answer that. So whoops. All right, well, oh, this is interesting. This is what we started with. This is what fell out for you. Alice and the White Rabbit, follow adventure down the rabbit hole. Okay, so you're asking what spiritual path is for you. Well, what's your white rabbit? Whoops, that's Alice. This is mirrored. So what's your white rabbit? What is it that you want to chase? What is it that you want to follow? So what's your white rabbit? Is it mediumship? Is it psychic abilities and intuition? For you, I feel like it's more, I want to say prophetic. You feel like a modern day prophet to me, which is not a term I have used in a very long time. So to me, this is someone who would be, I want to say archaic in a good way because it means you're an older soul. I feel like you're really good at speaking things forward, but I also feel like you are able to sense things before they come. I think sometimes you see the future with some pretty good clarity. I don't know if you're seeing this as like a vision or maybe in your dreams it might be more clairsentient, but you are able to tune into things before they happen. And I feel like that ability for you has been up and down throughout this year, but it feels like there's certain bursts that you had where it was stronger than usual. Right? Is that right? So there were times where, yeah, it feels like your psychic abilities and your ability to connect energetically just shot up and was the strongest it had ever been. Then it seems like maybe there was a wave where it just kind of, slid down a little bit and then it shot back up. So I think that you may be dealing with some inconsistencies with how your gifts work or with how strong they are. It's important for you to know that that's normal because your energy and the energy around you is always shifting. And because of that, your gifts are always going to be evolving. So they can change, and the way that you pick up on information can change too. So that's what I feel is your natural calling and your natural talent. As far as the spiritual path for you, I would just continue. I think you really need to continue to focus on this. So I feel that reading a lot of different spiritual books would be great for you, but it's like you do really good with more, I want to say, text style books. So that would be like, oh gosh, what's that one? Oh man, I can see it in my mind, but I can't think of the name of it. but it's like not the light, fluffy, new agey books. It's like you do better with the more in-depth books that you can really sink your teeth into. So things that are more like a text, like the school text or college text, like I guess like the Bible's a good example. And yeah, things that have really in-depth teachings. So that's going to be good for you because that will inspire you. I think that as you start to read maybe older spiritual texts, you're going to feel a real emergence with one of them because you have had lots of past lives, and there may have been a few past lives where you were a sage or even a prophet. I think that you've been a prophet a few times. And I also heard mystic man. Mystic man. Okay. So at one point in your life, you would have been a mystic. You would have been a male. So yeah, there's a lot going on there. So just, I feel like right now what's important for you is to start getting in tune with different spiritual texts and religions and things like that. Not necessarily current day religions, but more like older belief systems, so that you can be reminded of what you knew in past lives, because there is something important there that's going to start taking shape for you in this life. But I also think that you start to form your own beliefs, and I feel like 2021 is going to be this large spiritual quest for you, like this journey where you're learning more about yourself and where you're experimenting with your gifts more. But it also feels like at the end of that is where you come out of that year knowing more about who you are and what you want to manifest, and really how the universe speaks to you and works with you. So yeah, that's what I've got. That's what I've got for you. I know it's a lot. That was a lot, right? So I hope that I hope that answered your question. Kim, should I be doing something with my hands-on healing? Kim, I feel like right now you're supposed to be working more with yourself. So as I was tuning into that question right away, I saw you just kind of putting your hands on your own heart, like up here and probably up here. So I feel like working on your own healing is going to be very important for you. And it's not necessarily because you have much more to heal. I don't feel that from you. I feel like you've already done a whole lot of work and you've seen a whole lot of improvement. But this is more to serve as a buffer, like to keep your energy bright and big. And it feels like that's more or less the energy that you're in right now, is just learning how to keep that energy bright and big for yourself, so that when you do go out into the world and you do start doing more in terms of healing, I don't know if it's going to be hands-on healing exactly, but I do see you going out there and giving to the community in some way. So there might be some volunteer work that you start doing, something to that nature. But whenever we go out into the world, we are running the risk of getting hurt by people. Not so much physically, although that can happen too, but more like, people take just really mean jabs at us sometimes, right? They say horrible things, they do terrible things, and it can really cause us to question whether or not this is the right path for us. So before you go into that war zone, because we don't want to think of the earth as a war zone, right? We want to go out there and we want to spread the love and joy and just have a great time with everyone. But unfortunately, that's not the intentions of everyone else. So we have to be mindful of that. So think of your light as your armor, and just get used to finding a way where you can build up your own energy and make it stronger and brighter, so that when you are ready to do this healing work or volunteer work, whatever it is I'm tuning into, you will have those barriers up. Okay. Yeah, I'm not getting a feel for the hands-on healing because it feels like there's something that you do first. So if you do hands-on healing, it's going to be later on. It just feels like there's something else that you get involved with before that. So I do see you in a community. I do see you speaking with other people. It feels like you are involved in something that's important to you. And I say volunteer work because I don't know that you necessarily get paid for it, but you do get involved with the community that has some type of mission that you are passionate about, that you believe in. So that feels like it's the right route for you before you go into anything else. So those connections that you make are probably going to be very important. So, all right. So what I'm going to do now, because we're going to wind down, and I've actually got dinner on this stove. I'm making some beef stew. So good. And dinner's going to be ready soon. And I'm going to, I'm hungry, guys. I want to go eat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull one more card for you guys as a whole. And actually, I just came up with another idea. All right, hang with me. I'm going to do a pick a card for you guys. So we're going to ask, how can your dreams, wishes, and goals manifest for 2021? All right, so we're not asking if that's going to happen for you. We're asking, how can you make that happen? Like, what do you need to know? All right, so get this card. And this card's a little stuck. All right. So let's see what we got here. All right. Card number 1, card number 2, card number 3. So choose your cards, 1, 2, or 3. I know this is backwards for me, so I'm like, because, anyways, it's backwards. It's mirrored. So again, 1, 2, or 3. So for those of you who chose 1, and remember, we're asking the cards, how can you manifest what you want in the upcoming year? All right. So for those of you who chose number 1, you have Merlin and young Arthur. And this says, listen to your inspirational spiritual teachers. So for those of you who chose this, start thinking about who inspires you. Right? Start thinking about who inspires you. I know this says inspirational spiritual teachers, but I feel like anyone who has manifested or created anything that is life-changing or has changed the world in some way, that person's in tune to something. Like their consciousness is connected to something. So think of the, Steve Jobs that are out there, or even the Louise Hayes. Like all of these people are revolutionary in their own ways and in their own rights. So think about who you can look up to. What mentors can you identify with? And you may have noticed that I mentioned the name of 2 people who have passed away, right? Steve Jobs is no longer in physical form. Louise Hay is no longer in physical form, but they've left us so much information. We have biographies and documentaries on both of them. They've left us books. They've left us all sorts of things, presentations, talks that we can glean from. So know that your inspirational spiritual teachers may not be people that you know in person, but they are people who are willing to share their wisdom with you. So learn from them. And then, of course, there are other people, such as myself, who offer spiritual mentoring. And that might be something that is of value to you. So look into that. You may want to start by just writing a list of who inspires you. Who inspires you? And maybe go on a search on YouTube or Facebook to find different spiritual people that inspire you. But take it a step further, not just the spiritual people. Like, where do you want to go in your career? Where do you want to go with your life purpose? Because the two aren't always interwoven. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. So if your aspiration is to be a really good writer, think of the different authors out there who write who write in your genre or write books that inspire you, and just start to notice how they interact with other people. Pay attention to what they talk about on Facebook. Pay attention to what they write about in their own books and their writing style. Just allow their presence to be your mentor. Pay attention to what they are modeling for you and follow their example. Okay, so there you go. So for those of you who chose card number 1, that is your message. That is how you can manifest more of what you want in 2021. Okay, so for those of you who chose number 2, here's your card, Magical Lands, Visit Enchantment. So what this tells me is that those of you who chose pile number 2 or card number 2, you really have to get out of your comfort zone, like in a big way. So this may mean that I feel like so many of you have to make a physical move. Like there's a physical move coming for you, or that would be beneficial to you, I should say. So some of you live in areas where you know that you're not your best self there, where you know that you're not happy, where you know you can't really grow in that area. And if that's you, you're being encouraged to move or at least change your environment. If you can't make a physical move, meaning you can't move from one city to the next, you can't move your home for whatever reason, then look at different ways that you can change your environment in your home and see if you can maybe start going to a different church, or if you can start taking walks in a different city or in a different park or whatever it is. But we do see that there's this huge shift that needs to happen with your environment. Some traveling might be good for you. And I also think it would be good for you to visit the things that you want to attract. Because we're always aspiring for something, right? We're always aspiring to be something or to have something. So go spend time with the things that you want. So for example, if there's a car that you want, maybe you want to manifest a better car. Go test drive some cars. You don't have to buy one right away. You don't even have to have the funds for one, but just go test drive some cars. Go spend time on a car lot. Go look around. When you do that, you're putting yourself in the energy of a new car. And when you go to that car lot, you're saying to the universe, like, this is the car I want. Like, I want that car. Maybe I want this car, but in that color and with the features of this car. Just really start thinking about what you want, but be in the energy of those things, right? Go visit the thing that you want. And maybe there is a career that you want. Maybe there is something you're aspiring to be. Go find some groups that cater to those type of people. So if you want to be a musician, go hang out with other musicians. Go online and find different groups, because I know not a lot of places are allowing us to meet physically right now. But go online with different musicians. Start interacting with them on Twitter and Facebook. And when the world opens up again, go hang out at the coffee shops that they go to, right? So be with the people who you aspire to be like. Be with the people who are already doing what it is that you want to do, so you can glean from them and borrow some of their energy and get in that energy and start learning what you need to learn so you can get to that level, okay? And same thing with the things. So go visit the things that you want to attract. Go visit the things that you want to have. Keep it in the forefront of your mind. Keep it in the energy of your heart. Create some space for it. Do the same thing with people. Be with the people you aspire to be like. Okay? All right. And so for those of you who chose card number 3, here we go. We have Wizard of the Galaxy. And this says, experience the magic of the universe. So for those of you who chose this card, you're already magicians. You're already manifesting some amazing things. Even with the lockdown of 2020, I feel like so many of you got busy on your manifestations. I feel like you started putting your vision boards together. I feel like you started journaling. I feel like you really got in touch with what you wanted. You might have started to manifest by contrast, which means that you really paid attention to what you don't want, which helped you to figure out what you do want. So yes, manifesting by contrast is a thing. So many of you are being inspired and encouraged to use your magic to manifest things. You're not even being asked to take practical steps in the right direction. You're being asked to use magic. And so when I talk about magic, I'm talking about energy. So it could be the law of attraction. It can be that you're meditating and visualizing what you want. It could be that you're doing the manifestation. It can be that you're praying. It could be that you're talking to the universe and saying, hey, God, what up, dude? Can you send me the things I want, please? You the best. Maybe not quite that casual or silly, but you get the hint, right? So So that's the 3 different energies that I have for you guys. So again, for those of you who chose number 1, go find your spiritual inspirational teachers. For those of you who chose number 2, go be in the energy of the things that you want and the people you aspire to be like. And then for those of you who chose number 3, you're the magicians of the world. You have a very strong connection to source. You're being guided to start pulling in that information and putting it out in the world so it can reflect to you what you want. So you are all in different stages of how you manifest, and that's perfectly okay. So some of you may have noticed that, maybe you chose number 3 and that resonated with you, but maybe number 1 resonated with you too. So if that's the case, or maybe all 3 did, and that's totally okay. So just remember, these are general readings. Take what you need out of these, apply them to the best of your ability. Maybe when you get off of this live with me, make some notes, right? Just make some notes about what you got out of this and what you want to start practicing on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, so that 2021 can be your best year yet. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you did find this reading / unboxing helpful. So again, the name of this deck is Inspirational Visions. This was this was written and created by Judy Mastrangelo. And let me see if the name of the publisher is on here. Oh, it's Red Feather. Okay, there we go. Red Feather Publishing. I finally found it. So their icon is that pretty icon right there with the infinity symbol and the flame with the spiral in it. That's pretty cute. I like it. I'm digging it. So I do like this deck. I do believe it's one that I will continue to use. I don't know that I would use this much for divination, even though we did use it that way today. I think that for my own practice, I would do this more for journaling. So if I'm maybe in a little bit of a funk or I need wisdom and I just need to pick me up, again, inspiration of some sort. This is the type of deck I would turn to. So I'd shuffle some cards, pick one at random, sit with the energy and the message for a while, take a look at the bright images, because there's lots of beautiful bright symbols in all of these cards. And then I would start writing. Whatever starts to channel through. So I feel like that would be the best use of this deck for me. And if you're looking for a deck that inspires you, that opens up your channels, I think this will be a good one for that. I also love the brightness of it. Have I mentioned that already? Like, these are just very bright, beautiful, pleasant, whimsical cards. So yeah, so if you need something that's doesn't have that heavy energy that tarot and Lenormand sometimes have, I think this could be a good one. So it also seems like it's a good kid-friendly card too. So if you wanted to, get a card deck for a teenager, this would probably be good. There really aren't, well, aside from that, that's not even a scary image, right? I was going to say there aren't really any scary images in there. And they're just adventurous, right? It's a cute deck. So, all right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you have a fantastic holiday, and I was going to say I'll see you next week. I don't know if I'll see you next week, but I'll see you next year for sure. All right. Thanks for hanging out with me. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.